Hey everyone, this is Coach Kris. Welcome to my channel where we break down international level fights for strategies and tactics that you can use in your own gameplay. Today we're breaking down Daehoon against China's Zhao and how Zhao mounted his defense to take down the king, Daehoon. We're getting started right now. Alright guys, so I do not deserve all the credit for today's video. One of my teammates who I learned from, especially in film study, is Arvin Alcantara, and he called me up. He wanted to show me Zhao's defense, and one or two of the rules I'd seen on my own, but the other stuff I thought was really revolutionary, and I'm about to show that to you guys right now. So first thing I want you guys to watch is what I believe to be really key and really underrated in a lot of fighting, especially now that everyone's more standing still and standing on one leg and trying to get all those flick kicks in. I want you to watch the way Zhao disrupts Daehoon's offense with jittery footwork, right? All right, so let's play for a little bit. I want you to notice his front foot. His front foot is constantly changing distance, especially this little part. His front foot is constantly changing Daehoon's distance. Sometimes he's forward. And in addition to this front foot moving around like that, disrupting the distance, Zhao is also moving his body back and forth at the same time. So he's constantly telegraphing to Daehoon different distances. Am I going to slide back? Am I going to slide forward? Even here, his body, it doesn't look like much, but when you're at this level, every little motion counts. Every little motion is being read. And so instead of giving away as little information as possible, Zhao's overloading Daehoon's offensive targeting system with a lot of small gestures. So he's not really sure, is he coming in? Is he coming out? Specifically to give him bad information. So right here, guys, you can see Zhao destroying Daehoon's distancing by just small, slight motions. Daehoon's never really sure. He's in, he's out, short, he's not short. And like I said, Zhao does this throughout all 3 rounds. So if you want to watch the whole fight, you can go ahead and watch for that. It's really something to see. It's really interesting. The second thing Zhao's doing is I want you to watch when Zhao gets close to the corners. And when Zhao gets close to the corners, the rule is you got to kick and you got to outkick Daehoon with a +1. So watch this clip here. He's near the edge. He's near the edge. He's still using all that footwork. Cancel, and he's in. Right? Safety spot. All the way in close. Over here in this next clip, same thing. He's not really near the edge, but you're going to see him throw cancel. This is mixed in with the footwork defense still. Cancel. Cancel again. And this is just a credit. I'm showing this one as a credit to Daehoon and how fast this guy adjusts. And number 2, I'm showing you guys because Zhao immediately knows that he can't be throwing this anymore, and he has to adjust as well, and he adjusts in this next little clip. So right here, at the corner again. Boom, boom. Zhao throws the front leg a 3rd time. I want you to keep that in mind. Front leg a 3rd time. And Daehoon immediately tries to trap against it again. Because Zhao's thrown it once, twice, he's in the corner, different iteration, he's still banking on that front leg. Now Korean knows he's going to use that front leg, he's going to try for that spin. I'm not sure if that was his coach, but I'm pretty sure it was probably just Daehoon. Zhao immediately able to recognize his flaw. He's been throwing that front leg too often. He goes back to rule 1, which is just disrupting distance, and he's able to slip past Daehoon's front leg here. Rule 3 is when Daehoon is done kicking and he's resting because he's thrown all of his kicks, that's when I can kick him, because that's the time where he's most likely still thinking about how do I get through this guy's defense, how do I break this guy's armor, and also I've just kicked 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I am tired. Let me catch my breath for 2 seconds so I can do it again. Here you can see Zhao, as soon as the reset happens, Zhao, for the most part, has not been giving him any kind of variable to be like, oh, this is the offense, I need to worry about this when I'm attacking. He's been giving him no variables. It's pretty much just been canceling. So here you can see the reset. Zhao sinks right back into his forward to lull Daehoon to sleep a little bit. Daehoon's not even prepared for it. And that's the whole point, is Zhao wanted to make sure he's attacking Daehoon when Daehoon's mentally tired and least expecting it. That just makes sense to launch an attack at that point, right? The reset. Daehoon's trying to figure out, how do I break this guy? How do I get through the defense? How do I lock in the distance? And he's not even prepared for Zhao to go on offense. Zhao tried for a 2nd time right here. That was pretty good. But you can see Daehoon is definitely not prepared for these attacks. So the next clip, you're going to see exactly what I was talking about. You're going to see Daehoon kicking a lot and then trying to recover and still press Zhao, especially because it's closing in the 2nd, and the gap in points is pretty big now. Immediate offense right away again. Very nice by Zhao. And the face flick. just as kind of a almost nail in the coffin a little bit. As he's hunting for these points, he's not thinking about defense. Zhao taking full advantage of this. When you feel Lee Daehoon's not ready, that's the time you go on offense for one kick, and then you just play defense again. This last rule is something that I did not notice at all, and I thought was really, really interesting. So I definitely want to share it with you guys. So the last rule is when Lee Daehoon heads his right leg back in the clinch, you need to throw your left leg, because that right leg is the scariest thing ever. And when he's in the clinch, you don't know if it's going to the body, you don't know if it's a twist kick, you don't know if it's a head kick that apparently is really, really strong. So anyway, when that right leg goes in the back of the clinch, number one is you have to stay sideways, because if you're standing square, you have to defend both your left and right side equally. Zhao's pretty good with his right arm, so he says, what if I just put this arm in the front, stay left leg back, and then this arm can protect this side on the flank, smaller target anyway, can protect against Daehoon's left leg, and all we need to do is wait for, if this right leg goes in the back, I need to be kicking with my left leg, not to score, but just to jam that up, just so that whole thing goes away. I'm gonna let you guys watch this little scrimmage here, and then we'll break down what's happening. Lee Daehoon trying to lock distance, because Zhao's just been disrupting distance by going in the clinch, and so you can see there nothing happens. But I want you to watch the way Zhao's defending Lee Daehoon's killer right leg. So here, Lee Daehoon at the moment is pressing hard against Zhao, because Zhao has been disrupting his Lee Daehoon's distance with his footwork this whole time. So if someone's destroying your footwork, either one, you have to have faster and better footwork, and you be the one to dictate the footwork against the other guy. Or two, you just get them in the clinch, because distance no longer matters in the clinch since they're stuck in front of you, and then they have to defend. Lee Daehoon's clinch game is pretty strong, man. Zhao's defense is, if Lee Daehoon's right leg isn't back, I need to kick my left leg, because I don't know if this is hitting here, if it's going to be a twist kick, or if it's going to be a face kick. And that's too many areas for me to worry about. So we're just going to get rid of all of those and kick my leg first. Boom. Notice it slams right into Lee Daehoon's leg there. Lee Daehoon tries for the other side. Zhao's very confident with his right arm blocking. That leg falls after it lands. That means the right leg's in back again. Zhao loaded up, shooting his left leg again a second time. Lee Daehoon can't kick, obviously, because Zhao's leg is taking up the space. Lee Daehoon trying to set it up again. Zhao not in position, too much weight on the back leg. He opts to just try and step forward instead. Lee Daehoon trying to counter that, set up the left leg, because Zhao cut off the right already. And Zhao, confident with his right arm blocking, able to block all of it. So that's step 4, which I thought was really, really interesting on Zhao's part. Now, don't leave yet. We're going to watch one more iteration, and I'm going to show you why it's important. Lee Daehoon's about to get set for his right leg back clinch kick, and Zhao's up first just to block the space. What's interesting though, and what I wanted to show you guys, is if you guys watch the rest of this match here, there are some instances where Zhao is straight up just leaving his leg in the air. This kind of goes into overall I guess meta trend that we're starting to see, or at least we've seen in the last few Grand Prix, and specifically Arvid. I personally didn't see this, but if you're watching here, same idea, still disrupting Daehoon's distance, but I want you to watch, Zhao's leg is actually up and across this way. That means nothing Daehoon's going to lift on this side is really going to get around, unless you have like a Temujin out in going that way. And we not only noticed this on this match itself, but we also noticed on Jang Jun against Italy, De Akia. Italy also has kind of the same defense. If you notice, Italy's defense is against Jang Jun is to kick just before Korea kicks, not just to score. And for that, but there are times where Daehoon kicks behind him, and it's specifically because he doesn't want Jang Jun to kick. And so if his leg is occupying the space, then there's no way Jang Jun can get it, because his leg's there first. And so the reason I'm pointing this out to you guys is because it seems like there's a trend now where to defend people who are good in the clinch and who are kicking at you in the clinch, the simple answer is just to kick first on the same side. And it's not necessarily to score, but it's to deny your blah blah blah. And it's not simply for you to score, it's to simply deny your opponent the opportunity to score. Because if he's kicking on the same side, you can watch this in the third round, especially Daehoon versus Zhao. You'll see that they clash a lot, and it's on purpose. It's not because Zhao's trying to really score. It's because Zhao's trying to occupy that space so Daehoon can't use it to kick him. And also, really quick, thank you to my Patreon supporter, Michael. If you haven't checked out my Patreon, I want to get more people on there. We're going to start doing some live Q&A where if you guys are tuned in live, and I'll set it up at my dojang, and when you guys have questions, I will literally perform what I think you guys should do on Bob, or if my brothers are there, on my brother. And you can get your questions answered not just text or through video like this, but you'll actually see me and be able to ask me live questions about techniques, foot positionings, all that other small nuanced stuff. So please consider subscribing to my Patreon, link down below. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hopefully everyone's staying safe during this whole pandemic. We're all knocked down, but I'm with my family, so we're doing great over here, and we hope you guys are doing well too. Miss you guys, and hopefully there's some tournaments out soon so we can cover some newer fights. That's it, and see you guys.